Good morning from Mission Control in Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center. Here in Houston, flight controllers belonging to the Orbit 1 team are watching the arrival of the Progress 89 cargo ship, the unpiloted cargo ship that launched 2 days ago from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan to deliver 2.8 tons of food, fuel, and supplies to the Expedition 71 crew aboard the International Space Station. The view that you're looking at is of the Progress from external cameras on the International Space Station as the station and Progress fly 260 miles just to the north of the Romanian capital of Bucharest. On this Saturday morning, the Russian crew members belonging to the Expedition 71 crew are up as the U.S. crew members on board joining them as part of the Expedition 71 crew are about to be awakened to begin basically an off-duty day for them. For the Russian crew members, however, Station Commander Oleg Kononenko and crewmate Nikolai Chub are at their positions in the Zvezda service module, manning a workstation called the Toru system, the telerobotically operated rendezvous system, essentially a joystick apparatus that would be used in the unlikely event a problem would occur with the Corps' automated rendezvous system on the Progress that is guiding the unpiloted cargo ship towards its destination, and a docking at the aft port of the Zvezda service module, docking scheduled just 53 minutes from now at 12:56 a.m. Central Time, 1:56 a.m. Eastern Time. As the flight controllers here in Houston watch the data, they'll be working with their counterparts half a world away at the Russian Mission Control Center in the town of Korolyov outside of Moscow. This view of the International Space Station Flight Control Room in Korolyov from a camera on the balcony overlooking that flight control room. Those are the flight controllers in charge of this morning's operation as they watch the progress of the Progress as it closes in for its docking to the aft port of the Zvezda service module. The Progress is loaded with 2.8 tons, as we said, of food, fuel, and supplies, the equivalent of 5,778 pounds of cargo. The breakdown includes 2,094 pounds of propellant, 926 pounds of water, 110 pounds of nitrogen, and 2,648 pounds of dry goods and supplies for the crew members on board the station. As mentioned, the station crew, all 9 of those crew members, led by Station Commander Oleg Kononenko of Roscosmos and his Russian crewmates Nikolai Chub and Alexander Grabenkin, joined by NASA astronauts Matt Dominic, Mike Barrett, Jeanette Epps, and Tracy Dyson, and the Starliner crew members Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams. Flight controllers in Korolyov reporting that the Progress, which is right on course for an on-time docking to the Zvezda service module, is now just 15 kilometers away. The fly-around that is typical of a Progress or a Soyuz rendezvous to the Russian segment of the International Space Station, that fly-around of about 91 degrees will essentially begin about 28 minutes from now, precisely aligning the forward docking port on the Progress vehicle with the aft port of the Zvezda service module. That port was vacated this past Monday by the departure of the Progress 87 cargo craft, which was deorbited and burned up harmlessly over the Pacific Ocean. That port on the aft port of Zvezda now waiting for the arrival of the Progress 89 cargo craft. Once the docking occurs, There'll be a couple of minutes to allow the relative motion between the two vehicles, the Progress and the station, to dampen out against one another, enabling the docking probe to begin to retract, basically pulling the station flush against the Progress docking interface, enabling hooks to close and form a hard mate between the two vehicles. About 2 hours after docking, Kononenko and Chub will be working to open up the hatch to the Progress 89 cargo craft and begin to unload the most critical of the cargo items on board, so that the cargo unloading operations can begin throughout the day on Saturday, while the NASA crew members on board, comprising the rest of the Expedition 71 crew, essentially will have an off-duty day that will consist of normal housekeeping on a weekend, a midday meal, and exercise periods for all of the six NASA crew members who are on board the International Space Station. The journey of the Progress began with the launch of the Soyuz 2.1A booster on Wednesday evening U.S. time, 8:20 a.m. Baikonur time on Thursday morning. The Soyuz 2.1A booster began its journey off of Site 31 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, arcing out to the northeast into an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. The Soyuz third stage deposited the Progress resupply craft into its preliminary orbit 8 minutes and 49 seconds after launch. The Progress solar arrays and navigational antennas were then deployed as planned, and the Progress since then has executed all of its rendezvous maneuvers perfectly to increase its altitude to match that of the International Space Station and to close the gap between itself and the station, ultimately resulting in an alignment with the Zvezda service module that will be occurring within the next few minutes. Over the course of the next 47 minutes or so leading up to the docking of the Progress resupply ship to the station, you'll be hearing the interpretation of discussions that will be ongoing between the flight controllers in Korolyov and the Russian crew members aboard the International Space Station as the Progress methodically closes the gap between itself and the aft port of Zvezda for its eventual link-up. At the time of docking, the Progress will have slowed its approach to about 1/10 of a meter per second, aligning itself through the Corps' automated rendezvous system, where the forward docking probe will be aligned with a crosshair docking target on the aft port of Zvezda for contact and capture that is scheduled at 12:56 a.m. Central Time, 1:56 a.m. Eastern Time. The Progress now just 10 kilometers away from the International Space Station. In the next few minutes, we'll begin to enter the neighborhood of the station. We are expecting views of the Progress from external cameras on the International Space Station and reciprocal views of the station from the external television camera on the Progress itself, that familiar cross-haired engineering camera view that also overlays data that shows the range between the Progress and the station, as well as its rate of closure. The station and Progress currently flying 260 miles over northeastern Kazakhstan, moving now from northwest to southeast in its orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. And the commands have now been sent to activate the Progress television camera So we should be seeing views shortly from the progress of the International Space Station as the Progress closes in at a steady rate for its docking that is scheduled about 44.5 minutes from now. A short time ago, the International Space Station was maneuvered into the correct orientation for docking. Again, the Progress will move into what is called a fly-around of about 91 degrees. That will come about 21.5 minutes from now as the Progress arrives in the neighborhood of the International Space Station, ultimately aligning itself, the forward docking probe on the Progress aligning itself with the aft end of the Zvezda service module. There will be a short period of station keeping to enable the Russian flight controllers to assess the orientation of the Progress relative to the aft port of Zvezda before the command is issued for initiating the final approach of Progress as it closes in for its link up to the International Space Station.
Экипаж МКС.
Station Moscow, Space Ground 1 for Oleg. Oleg Garnik, yes. Good morning.
Доброе утро. Итак, мы прошли...
Good morning, Yakov. Okay, we passed the 9-kilometer point. Please report on what you're doing. Have you been selecting any commands?
Yes, сейчас проконтролировал.
Yes. We just monitored the television. The TV is on. I was about to call you, but you were ahead of me. We do have duplex line, so we do have the comm line. And PPS is on. Okay, excellent. That's per panel. Then we are done with page 19. We can proceed with page 20. Waiting for television. Monitor the video image.
There's our first view of the International Space Station from the external engineering camera on the Progress 89 cargo ship. In the lower left-hand corner, you see the data that is pertinent, most pertinent to the remainder of the rendezvous operations. The top value, 6.7 kilometers, shows the distance between Progress and the International Space Station at the moment. The lower value, minus 8.7 meters per second, shows the rate of closure.
If you have no objections, then I'm ready to start recording as per the step 8. Yes, you are go. Perform step 8. Turn the recording on.
Meanwhile, the flight controllers in Korolyov in the Russian Mission Control Center talking to Oleg Kononenko, the station commander, who, along with Nikolai Chub, is inside the Zvezda service module. Kononenko is headed for a lifetime achievement of more than 1,100 days in space at the time that he and Nikolai Chub, along with NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson, return to Earth. That's scheduled for September 23rd.
Moscow Station, Space Ground 1. Yakov, page 19 is complete in full.
Вас понял.
Copy. We are receiving the video. We have a visual on the station. Yes, we see that the station is in the center. It's kind of gray and blinking, but well, we could say that more or less we can see it. Excellent. So you have visual of the ISS. Okay, waiting for the monitoring. Then we will do the braking correction maneuver. Okay, Moscow, about the TV cameras. Yes, go ahead. Recording is on. Recording confirmed. We have two windows confirming that recording is in progress. Okay, copy.
This is Mission Control Houston. Again, this view of the International Space Station just about in the crosshairs of this engineering view from the external television camera on the Progress 89 cargo ship, the unpiloted resupply vehicle that is in the home stretch of a 2-day journey from the launch pad of the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan to deliver 2.8 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the 9 crew members aboard the International Outpost. The Progress is within 5 kilometers of its destination, which is the aft port of the Zvezda service module, closing at a rate of about 8 meters per second. The Progress about 15 minutes away from initiating its fly-around of the International Space Station, which will precisely align the forward docking probe on the Progress with the aft port of Zvezda. The Corps' automated rendezvous system essentially is a system that bounces radio signals back and forth between a comparable receiver between the Progress and that which is located on the service module itself on the Russian segment of the station that measures distance and rate of closure. This view, that dot that you see growing larger in the field of view is the Progress 89 resupply vehicle flying smoothly on, moving from northwest to southeast just to the south of Shanghai, China. All of the rendezvous maneuvers, all of the engine firings have been executed in a pre-programmed fashion, in flawless fashion so far. Again, the Corps' automated rendezvous system operating normally at this point, guiding the Progress in for what is expected to be an on-time docking about 35 minutes from now. As the Progress arrives in the neighborhood of the International Space Station, its rate of closure beginning to slow as planned. Onboard computers essentially will put the brakes on after the fly-around maneuver is complete. That will once again enable a momentary period of station keeping for the Progress as the flight controllers in Korolyov assess the relative orientation of the Progress to the aft port of the Zvezda service module, to which it will link up at 12:56 a.m. Central Time, 1:56 a.m. Eastern Time. Once again, the values in the lower left-hand corner of your view from the Progress external television camera, showing the Progress now almost 2.5 kilometers away from the International Space Station, continuing to close at about 8 meters per second. Everything proceeding on track, with the fly-around of the International Space Station scheduled to begin about 10.5 minutes from now. As the Progress continues to approach the International Space Station, there will be a series of so-called impulse burns of the main engine, very, very small mid-course correction maneuvers that will fine-tune the Progress's path to the aft port of the Zvezda service module.
Экипаж, закончился обратный разворот, получили разрешение.
Station, the burn is complete. Please report. Standing by for the go for tour activation. Okay, we're looking at the displays right now.
And the Russian flight controllers have confirmed the Impulse 4 burn, once again the latest in the series of small mid-course correction maneuvers. This view of the Progress against the limb of the Earth from external cameras on the International Space Station as the Progress and the station fly to the east of the Philippines. We've had a momentary loss of downlink television from the station as we hand off between satellites on the tracking and data relay satellite system.
Copy.
We'll pick up video once again here momentarily.
All keys are released. Copy. Power on. Power confirmed. Press initial on. Send. Inaudible. Send an initial.
Принял.
Now I need 3-4 seconds. Copy. I confirmed activation. All 4 LEDs are.
Once again, this view of the unpiloted Progress carrying 2.8 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the 9 crew members on board the International Space Station, now just over 1 kilometer away, separating the resupply ship from its destination.
Moving to the route translation hand controller test. Working to the hard stop. No issues. Left, no issues. Right, no issues. Towards myself. Outward. Both no issues. I am ready for step.
This conversation between the Russian flight controllers and Oleg Kononenko on board the station involving a routine test of the backup rendezvous system called the Taurus system, the telerobotically operated rendezvous system that would be employed by the cosmonauts in the Zvezda service module in the unlikely event a problem would occur in the home stretch here with the Corps' automated rendezvous system. Now a good view of the International Space Station from the Progress cameras. The Progress now 900 meters away from its destination.
AGS mode off. So far, just one push is okay for me. Are you receiving the video?
Да, картинка.
Yes, we have video.
Наиболее комфортного для вас изображение.
So we are looking for the view that is most comfortable for you.
Once again, the Progress resupply vehicle launched on Wednesday night U.S. time, early Thursday morning at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan atop a Soyuz 2.1A booster. It was an 8-minute, 49-second ride from the launch pad to deliver the Progress into its preliminary orbit, after which solar arrays and the navigational antennas were deployed as planned, and the Progress began its program of pre-planned engine firings to raise its altitude to match that of the International Space Station and to close the gap between itself and the International Outpost. With just 660 meters separating Progress and the station, flight controllers here in Houston have given their Russian counterparts a go for final approach and docking. We're coming up on about the 2-minute mark before the start of the fly-around of the Progress of the International Space Station That will come at a distance of about 400 meters between the two vehicles, a 91-degree fly-around that will result in the alignment of the Progress with the aft port of the Zvezda service module. Passing over western New Guinea at an altitude of 260 statute miles, the Progress resupply vehicle in full view of external cameras on the International Space Station. 480 meters now separating Progress from the station. The rate of closure between the Progress and the station has now slowed as planned to about 1.3 meters per second. Once again, at the time of contact and capture, some 22.5 minutes from now, the rate of closure will have slowed to a glacial 1/10 of a meter per second.
So you said that the mode has changed during fly around. Yes, we're more.
And the reports now from Korolyov that the Progress has initiated its fly around of the International Space Station. .300 meters now separating Progress from the station, closing at a rate now of 0.6 of a meter per second. The fly around of the space station continues, 260 meters separating Progress from the station. Progress and the station flying over the Coral Sea, just off the northeastern coast of Australia. The Progress on a pre-programmed path to complete the fly-around of the International Space Station. It will stop its approach to the station for a very, very brief period of time called station keeping, allowing the flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center to assess its angular position relative to the aft port of the International Space Station's Zvezda module before proceeding on for final approach. We're expecting the fly-around to be completed about 4 minutes from now. You can see in the left-hand corner the aft port of the Zvezda service module, to which the Progress is continuing its fly-around to align itself to. About 25 degrees of fly-around remaining. The aft port of the Zvezda service module and the large Lyra high-gain antenna coming into view as the Progress hones in on its destination. This automated rendezvous being guided by the Corps' rendezvous system. Again, a series of radio signals that are beamed back and forth between the Progress and the Zvezda service module. Very visible thruster firings from the Progress as it completes its alignment to the aft port of Zvezda. And the Progress as planned, initiating a slight roll program that will orient the solar arrays on the unpiloted vehicle into the correct orientation for final approach and docking. And you can see the aft port of the Zvezda service module almost right in the center of the crosshairs. Once again, the Progress loaded with 2.8 tons of cargo. That includes 2,094 pounds of propellant, 926 pounds of water, 110 pounds of nitrogen, and 2,648 pounds of dry goods and supplies.
Наблюдаем за причал.
And the fly around now complete. We're in the brief period of station keeping.
Approach. Shall I send a command from the control panel? Yes, second approach. Richard, send it yourself from the control panel. Okay. Activate and bypass initial command send. Operation.
And the flight controllers in Korolyov are satisfied with the alignment of the Progress to the station and are initiating the commanding to begin final approach.
Excellent.
Final approach now initiated. The Progress about 140 meters away from the aft port of Zvezda.
Request for you. Please report at least once a minute, whenever you can. Yes, copy. Okay. 0.82 is range rate for approach. I can only guess where the target is, but I do not have a clear visual yet. Copy.
130 meters now separating Progress from the aft port of Zvezda, which is just about in the center of your crosshairs on this view from the external television camera on the unpiloted resupply ship, closing at a rate of about 0.6 of a meter per second.
If necessary, work in AGC mode and adjust the camera as required for you, as it is more convenient, okay? Range 115 per course. 0.68 and closing. Okay, and now I have good visual of the target. Okay, copy.
Прошли
100 meters past 0.55 and
Progress now inside 100 meters. Everything proceeding as planned. Good rate of closure. Good performance by the Corps' automated rendezvous system.
Прошли 70.
70 past 0.3 and closing. Target
Принял, отлично.
is visible. Copy.
Approaching 60 meters of separation between Progress and the station, closing at a rate of about 0.2 of a meter per second. The station and Progress have now moved into an orbital sunset over the South Pacific. Everything continuing to proceed on track.
Прошли 50.
Past 50 meters, 0.2 and closing.
Принято.
Copy.
Вес в центре подложки.
to the center of the overlay.
Принял.
Copy. .45 meters. SSFP readiness confirmed. Copy. By ruler, about 40 meters range rate. Range
Принято. То есть,
and point 2.
показания
All of those parameters are right where they should be, about 40 meters separating progress from station, closing at a rate of just under 2 meters per second.
Well, on course is 45.
You can see the docking port itself almost at the top of your screen, but right at the center of the crosshairs is a diamond-shaped docking target. That is what the Core's automated rendezvous system is honed in on for the precise alignment for the final few meters of final approach.
.35 meters by ruler, 38 by course. We're in eclipse. Target is not visible.
Вас понял. Работает.
I am activating operation and activating AGC mode. Copy. Operation off. I have good visual of target.
Принял. Работа отключена. Мишень наблюдается.
Copy, no operation.
In the service module itself, Oleg Kononenko and Nikolai Chub, watching what you're watching, is the view from the Progress as it approaches its destination, the aft port of the Zvezda service module.
Ready to send bypass initial.
Разрешение увода.
Yes, and you are going to enable back off. Bypass initial sent. Operation sent. And also I'm sending enable breakout.
Вас понял. Выдаю.
Copy. Go ahead. Command sent.
Отлично. Переходим на
Excellent. Let's go to page 24.
15 метров.
Stand by for the next step at 15 meters. By ruler 20 meters, point 11 and closing. Have
Progress right where it's supposed to be, about 20 meters now separating Progress from docking, closing at a rate of just over 1/10 of a meter per second.
Принял. Инструкция отведена.
Instruction confirmed. Okay. 17 meters by ruler. Range rate unintelligible. Everything is nominal. Air base confirmed.
The Core's automated rendezvous system guiding the Progress toward that docking target that you see at just about right at the crosshairs of this engineering view from the Progress's external television camera.
12 meters.
Принял.
Point 11 and closing. No issues. Copy. $12 meters. Approach.
Принял, отлично.
Copy. Ruler 9 meters, range rate 0.12 and closing. All nominal. Copy.
Progress now about 8.5 meters away.
Six meters, 0.12 and closing.
Вас понял.
Copy. Range 4 meters, range rate 0.12 and closing. Everything nominal. Copy. Range 0.11.
Принял.
Progress just about home.
Copy. Past 2 meter point.
Inside 2 meters. Standing by for contact and capture.
1 meter, standing by for contact.
Принял, ожидаем.
Copy, standing by for contact. Contact confirmed. Capture confirmed.
Contact confirmed. Docking confirmed.
Copy.
At 12:53 a.m. Central Time, 1:53 a.m. Eastern Time, Progress has reached the International Space Station 260 miles over the South Pacific.
Итак, мы успешно...
Okay, guys. Successful docking, standing by for the retraction process to end, and then we'll switch to the closeout operations. For now, stand by. Copy. Step 4.6 is ready to be performed.
The relative motion between Progress and the station now beginning to dampen out. That will allow the forward docking probe to begin to retract and bring the two docking surfaces of the craft into a flush configuration, enabling hooks to begin to close to form a hard mate. Once again, a flawless journey of 2 days from the launch pad of the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan to an uneventful, smooth docking for the Progress to the aft port of the Zvezda service module. Docking occurring at 12:53 a.m. Central Time, 1:53 a.m. Eastern Time.
Moscow Station, space to ground 1.
Отвечаю вас, Гадин Николай.
Go ahead, Nikolai, NSG-1.
Дайте добро на отключение режима записи.
Can you give me a go to deactivate recording mode? Yes, Nikolai, you are go to turn it off. OFF. Nikolai, I congratulate you guys on another successful docking. It's time for me to finish my shift. Sergey will be your glavny. Yes, guys, thank you very much, and our congratulations to you with the wonderful support and successful docking. Okay, thank you, guys. We'll talk to you next time. Yes, till next time.
And congratulations to the crew members on board the station from Russian flight controllers. Following the smooth docking of the Progress resupply ship, the Progress 89 cargo craft, to the aft port of the Zvezda service module. We're waiting for hooks to close to form a hard mate between the two vehicles, after which there'll be a period of about 2 hours of leak checks at the docking interface that will be monitored by the Russian crew members on board. before the hatch will be opened to the Progress vehicle, enabling Kononenko, Chub, and Grebenkin to begin unloading cargo from the resupply vehicle. And the hooks have begun to close.
Moscow Station on Space to Ground 1. This is Oleg. Good morning, guys. Congratulations on the docking of the Progress vehicle. Sergey, thank you. Is Yasha still there? He is. Yash, just wanted to verify, do you still want me to leave operational Robota on?
This is Mission Control Houston. We now have confirmation that the hooks are closed between the Progress and the aft port of the Zvezda service module. So we have a hard mate between the resupply ship and the international outpost, wrapping up tonight's rendezvous and docking. Once again, the Progress launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on Wednesday night U.S. time at 10:20 p.m. Central Time, 11:20 p.m. Eastern Time, began a two-day journey to reach the International Space Station, where it arrived a few minutes ago for a flawless docking to Zvezda at 12:53 a.m. Central Time, 1:53 a.m. Eastern Time. The leak checks will now begin by the Russian crew members on board the International Space Station before they open the hatch to Progress later this morning and begin to unload the first of the cargo, some 2.8 tons of cargo that have now arrived at the International Space Station. With that, we'll wrap up our coverage for this morning. A perfect rendezvous, a perfect docking by the Progress to the International Space Station. With that, we'll conclude our coverage. We wish you a good weekend from Mission Control in Houston.